Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Silent Podcast, a place where everything but silent at night. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we're here to talk Deal or No Deal Island, Season 2, Episode 6 with the Banker's Temple. Guys, I'm very excited to talk about this one because I watched this maybe, we'll say like 2-3 hours ago, and I think that the show is finally waking up. You know, it's starting to give me what I've been craving. So here to talk about with me is Julia. Julia, what's going on?
Hey, it is very late in the night, but I am super excited. We've never had a cliffhanger before, and this episode was just super, super, super messy. I'm so excited to talk about it with everyone here.
All right. We also got Cheyenne Boozer. Cheyenne, how are you doing tonight?
It's bourgeois to you. No, I'm doing great. This episode was actually like rowdy. There's something that could be said about every single person this episode, including my fave, Finn.
All right. And then lastly, we got Real Slim Katie in the cut. Katie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I mean, I don't know if it's a controversial opinion, but I hate cliffhangers. So I'm not psyched that we didn't get to see the conclusion of this temple. But the show is unserious, and I feel like this podcast is unserious. So I always have fun being here and talking with you guys. So I'm excited to dig into it.
I'm excited, yeah, because my friend Ganja, he will be joining as well. But he actually texted me because I texted you guys and him when I was watching this, and like midway through the challenge, I was like, these people are crazy, and he was like, yeah, there's like some BS at the end of the episode, you'll figure it out. But like when I got to that cliffhanger, I was just like, what the hell? I was like, I feel disrespected because I was so locked in and I was ready. You know, I was ready. Philip just talking about Harriet Tubman and all this stuff. I'm like, oh, they get like this ghetto, but I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? And you know, they had to strip it from us. This was this close to being a perfect episode for me. So it is what it is. My friend Ganjo is here as well. What's going on, Ganjo?
What's the deal? How's everyone doing?
We're doing great. We just getting started to talk Dondi. All right. So first things first, because like I said, there's a whole lot to go on in this episode. I don't like doing regular recaps. I just want to chat about everything. So there's a whole lot going on. This is coming off of the cusp of the entire Blindside last episode. And obviously Parvati and David hate Will. I think Will is definitely, specifically for David, his number one. And we're going to see like this little interaction where we saw in the season preview, but we finally got more clarification on it. Will is like, what show did you win? Like, are you on Survivor Australia or something? Does Will actually know, or is he just trolling, guys? What do we think here?
I think he knows.
Really?
He's a professional. I think he knows.
Crazy. And it's just like David and Will is like, I don't think Will is really taking David too seriously. You feel me? But like, I don't know. I thought it was very interesting, and I'm really curious to see who comes up on top of this. And I think obviously there's stuff going on that we're not seeing when they're saying stuff like, oh, look, David is like very astute with like the social game. He's very like polished. Do we think that Will can best David, or can David best Will? Cheyenne, what do you feel about that? Who do you think will come up on top of this little rivalry?
I definitely think that Will is showing David like, hey, I have my eye on you. And as two of the fitter guys here, we should keep each other in sight, AKA. I think that he'll try to ride on the back of David's back and then like use him as a shield to get out of the way. So Will on top. Yeah.
Julia, your facial expression, it looks like you think a little different. What's going on?
I mean, it's interesting. I just feel like there's clearly two sides of the island right now. And so I don't feel like you can use someone as a shield when you're not on the same side. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like this episode was really kind of, sorry, not to change topic, Isaiah, but this episode was kind of Parvati's episode. Not in terms of the confessional, but in terms of the strategy, I think she did so many subtle things throughout the episode that I really want to tease out. So that's why I was like, David versus Dr. Will. I'm like, also David is like not giving. He is not giving me enough. You know, he's just a really pretty boy who has an impeccable social game. Like, he's giving me nothing. So
I'm with you.
I don't know. I'm like not even
I completely
interested in
agree.
watching. No, I will. Eventually I'll watch his seasons. But like he doesn't intrigue me enough to make me want to watch his season. I feel like that's a whole part of going on like other reality TV shows where it's like you wanna see everything else I've done.
I'm sure David is a really good player, but my king of Survivor is King George. So of Australian Survivor. So that's what I'm thinking about. But I don't know what Will's gonna do about the whole family dynamic. He got Parvati at his neck, and he got David that's also willing to win stuff and potentially take Will out if he can. But we're gonna see kind of how that works out. But so far, I feel like David and Parvati and Dixon have the advantage because they're actually a solidified alliance versus that other side.
Yeah.
See, I didn't feel that way last week. I felt like there was like a formidable alliance forming against the family, and I thought the family was in trouble. This week, I feel completely opposite, and I'm with you, Gonjo. Like, that other side is a complete mess. They're a complete disaster. I think the only two people who are like actually with it and will stick with it are Seychelles and Will. The rest are just a total disaster.
I think it's CK fault. Will literally was going to take you out instead of Maria
Right.
Grace, and then you're mad that they sent MG home? I'm confused.
A mess.
So, I mean, we might as well hop into that because the challenge takes up most of this episode, and that's where a lot of this mess comes. And, you know, I wasn't really expecting much. I mean, it's a very interesting format where it's like, hey, you have to draw your name, someone's name, and then you get to determine if you're going for safety or if you're not going for it. We did see some like interesting things, not to go too much all over the place. I thought Will was going to throw. He did exactly what I thought he was going to do. But a lot of the meat and potatoes comes from CK during this, because first thing that happens is when God, what is her name? Starts with no.
Letty.
Letty. Thank you. Letty basically she wants to save whoever saves her, right? And at first I was with the logic, and you know, I'll get to her actual decision in a second. But when it's a possibility that she gets to go up next, CK is trying to tell her, hey, like, you need to like save me. I don't care like what it. I think it was like what Philip that was about to save her or something like that. She was going to return a favor to Philip, but instead she felt some type of way. She was like, hey, we're supposed to be like this alliance. This is the time that you got to burn bridges. I don't really care about all. It's like, okay, there's a time and place for that. You know what I'm saying? And I think it was a couple of podcasts ago, Cheyenne specifically was like, CK is playing a great game. I see it, like she's very out there. And it's like, I saw this, and like, I don't know, there's something in the back of my mind where I was like, she's very outspoken, but I think she is missing the game savviness that we need in a game like this, because she's all over the place in this challenge. And the rest of the episode from here, she starts spiraling, and I think her little outburst of trying to like force Letty to do what she wants, you know, kind of like applying pressure on like Dixon for some random reason. She's just all over the place. Julie, what was going on here with CK? Like where did she go wrong?
I feel like
Wow. I'm sorry, but you're gonna take a shot at me and then go to Julia?
Cheyenne, go ahead. I pass the mic to you.
Thank you. As we all know here, I'm wrong several times a day. I also thought Seychelles was going home. So, yeah, I mean, CK was playing hard. She's still playing hard, and she might be going home. Back to Julia.
I feel like you can put CK and Parvati and like just contrast their strategy and how they handled, right? Because they are both trying to, thank you for the affirmative nods. They are both trying to save themselves, but Parvati is like, like how do I keep David safe, and I don't want to keep my safe, and like I know how Letty works, and like she is definitely like gives her word to people, versus like CK is like super aggressive and like not understanding what Letty's motivations are, right? So I think one, you can contrast, like CK is just like they both have the same outcome. They want to save themselves and they want to save their, well, actually no, Parvati wants to save David over saving herself, but they want to save themselves or their alliances. But CK is just like, let me just tell people what I want, versus Parvati actually thought of it as a strategy. Another thing is that like I think we're too late in the game for Letty to be like, I just want to be a person of my word. Like now, when you're in the mid game, when you're in the late game, that's when you have to start executing and getting people out. You know, you can't just be like, in the beginning, you're building the trust. It's like, I'm a person of my word. But now you have to start taking sides. Like the other side has already made a side. They all know that there are two sides. So why are you still trying to have a good social game with everyone? And so like, I think Letty's like threat level has gotten really high. Like she's been the person who's chosen the banker twice. And so she has to be very, very careful. And I'm a little bit worried for her.
And there's literally no power to choosing. Like they're not exercising the power of choosing the person to go against the banker wisely, because they're just choosing whoever wants to go up. I feel like specifically this week, she should have chose Dixon. I don't care what CK was talking about, because if Dixon goes home, then that's somebody from the family that's gone. But if he stays, maybe he'll take out somebody you may not be able to take out later. Who knows? But I think Dixon probably would have been a better choice. But you know,
and it's kind of ridiculous just to get back to Letty, because it's like I was actually prepared to come into this episode after seeing the first few minutes saying like, is Letty playing the best game? Like no one's really targeting her. Everyone likes her. She's good at challenges. I'm like, Letty is killing it, but she is doing this thing that I've seen so many reality TV people do, which is be like this high moral person talking about my integrity and all this stuff. And I ain't gonna lie, these are my favorite people, because I think these people are unserious as hell. And I love it when they crash out. So like, obviously I got what I want and like mess, right? But I didn't understand where you guys are obviously just coming from this huge move, getting MK out and everything, making these alliances and all that. And then out of nowhere, it's like, oh, well, I need to help David because David helped me, or Philip too. Like, oh, I need to help whoever helps me out. I want to keep my integrity. We even saw Dixon last episode talking about, oh, I'm not a liar. My word is good, even though you just blindsided Will. It's like these people are doing this like newbie thing of like, I need to hold my integrity, and I love it because it's like you guys are so full of shit, and it always causes like mess. And Letty went from like a 9 to me to like, I don't even know, like she fell off like crazy. But Katie, how you feel about CK's little oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just wondering like who all is seeing Letty as a threat more than a friend.
It's a good question. I feel like Letty is the type of player that everyone's aware that is like playing a good game, but they're not really worried about her right now. And that's usually the person that gets sniped at like final 6, final 5 area. You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like everyone's cool with her up until like the end of the episode, obviously. But yeah, I don't know.
I think her team needs her, but the family don't need her. So she's obviously going to be the powerhouse on that side that's winning challenges, choosing the banker. So she's going to be the first target for the family. And I think she's trying to play it smart by playing the middle somewhat, but there's no middle here. Like you have to choose a side. And even though they hate Will, you have to work with this man, because even though I must say, I don't understand what's happening behind the scenes. Besides him walking off that one challenge when he tried to dunk Dixon, I don't know why they hate him so much. Like I'm entertained. I feel like if I was out there, I would be entertained. I would be having fun. Don't you want to be watching the show and knowing how entertaining it's going to be while you're out there versus waiting for them to edit it and see what it's really going to be like? So I don't know, they tripping. But I think Letty, she had no choice though. It's like you can't be in Letty's position for too long without being a target. But playing the middle is not the spot for her.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think I think the answer, Cheyenne, too, to your question would be very different from the start of this episode to the end of this episode once CK exposed everything at the temple. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I think Letty, everything was fine with her playing the middle up until last week, but the sides were chosen last week. You made a decision, you went against the family. Now you have to stick with the decision. You really can't go back and forth at this point because the lines are very clearly drawn now. And then when you try and play the middle, exactly what happens this episode will happen to you and you're going to get exposed. And then now you're going to probably be one of the first people to get sniped. But I don't really know what CK was doing this episode either. I mean, like, Isaiah, I know these are your favorite people because they end up just being a disaster, but like the integrity, the I cheated and now I have to punish myself, like the whole thing is just such a joke. And it's like, have you guys ever watched any single reality show ever? Because I don't know one show that like that rewards you for having integrity and being an honest person. Name one. There's not one. I don't know one.
My integrity is not for sale. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
that was a good impression.
Crazy.
I mean, the first season of most reality TV shows are like loyalty, staying with your word. You know, old school.
I don't know. We just too like old school reality can't exist anymore. We too far away from that at this point. Like it's so much reality TV where backstabbing gets you the win. People coming into these games not expecting someone to turn on somebody is weird. So them being so shocked that Will took out MG, I have to keep going back to the last episode. It just didn't make sense of why they were so shocked. Maybe because they really thought Will was gonna take out CK, but he's a troll. He showed you he was a troll. Why are you trusting this man?
I keep going back to like MG like applied to this show and like had just never seen reality TV, and then she like watched Dondi season 1. But I just think a lot of this cast has just like never seen reality TV. We're like, I love Deal or No Deal.
And that's my favorite.
How do you live on this earth though and not see? How do you live on this earth and decide to go on reality TV knowing nothing about what happens on reality TV though? Like
people want money,
because they want money. And they
MG knew about Survivor.
Oh yeah, she did.
She did, but then in her exit interviews, it seemed like she like it's. I don't know. It didn't.
She
seem
knew
like she really
of
knew
Survivor.
Well.
I feel like
And also the way she explained it was like kind of crappy.
like these are my favorite people because you could tell like they have no idea what they auditioned for or got recruited for. And like Storm, perfect example. He actually auditioned for Big Brother and then got recruited for this. So it's
we saw like a shred of Storm have like some kind of strategy. Like he worked with Will to say like you don't have to go for CK, but you could go for this. Like we saw him kind of like at least strategize a little bit.
Right.
These other people, I really don't know what they're doing.
I like people like this. So this is like the Brendan from Big Brother 13s or who else is like Captain Kosher from Big Brother 12, or Natalie, can I have your Jack? Like these are just like the regular everyday Joes who just come on here not really knowing what they're getting themselves into, and then they always end up being the messiest, and it's great. And just to get back to CK, I love the fact that she's giving an amazing confessional about integrity and then attempts to cheat seconds later. And I literally screamed at my TV and I was just like, production? Like I thought they were about to let it happen. I thought this was just amazing. I'm glad they left all the mess in there because usually this is something that they would cut out. But like she blatantly cheated and I love it. And she's just such a hypocrite, but CK is gold. Okay, amazing.
How do you cheat so bad? Like, how are you so bad at cheating? Like, how? I don't understand. It was so bad.
Yeah.
So blatantly obvious.
Letty.
That was unreal.
And then rats are out. You know what? Anyway,
CK really let me down this episode. Like, it's one thing to crash out in front of everyone because you think that your number one should be protecting you. Like, I get it. But then to fast forward, to meet the banker, to repent, and then throw everyone under the bus? Like, you're not doing this well. You would make a poor Catholic.
What I find so fascinating is she's a poker player. And, like, in poker...
She is?
Yeah. I don't know if she's a professional poker player. But it's in her. She talked about in her first episode.
Wow.
And like in poker, like you know that the emotions get to you, but I guess not everyone who plays poker is a robot. But you would think that like she can be like, okay, I'm tilted right now. Let me take a step back. Let me actually think about this. But she like fully acted like on tilt, and this game really like aggravated her.
I think most of the most of the representation of poker players that I feel like I've seen in reality TV, they're either super calm and very unhinged at times. Like Vanessa Russo, look at her. Like she strategically had it, but she was really unhinged in that house. So
Yeah.
I think they have modes to be like, okay, I can be calm when the pressure is on, but when I don't have any pressure on me, I'm about to go crazy. Because I feel like CK would have been in a good spot if she didn't do this. I'm still not understanding why she chose to throw her people under the bus.
Like her target was so big that people stopped targeting her because it was too easy. She could have just laid low, but she couldn't.
Yeah.
I also feel like she was in a way better place with Will because they were like forced to work together. So the only person who was really coming for her blatantly was Will, and they kind of squashed it last week. At least for now, like put it to the side. We're going for the family. We're good. Why are you doing this? Like every move she made literally zero sense. Also, and again, like I said this last week and I will say it again, I think the show and the concept of it is like maybe a little too smart for me sometimes because I'm like, wait, what? What is she even mad about? Because she picked the order and she was mad at Letty, but she went before Letty. So it's like, what are you mad about? Like Letty didn't even go yet and you're pissed. If she didn't even do anything.
I've actually peeped, like there are some like edit flaws that they've made before. Like I think it was last week, during the team selections for the challenge, you can hear Will in the background of the audio say something like, "Oh, don't like get in the line to pick me," and then they actually like showed it a little bit later. So they're definitely like putting things out of order in the edit. I peeped it with this episode too, where like you see people in the background having combos, and then like they show it like a little bit later. Like I don't know, I'm starting to pick up on certain things. It's still a sloppy show. I love it. But just
Go
ahead,
CK
Julia.
has 2 World Series of Poker Championship rings, and she's a
That's crazy.
She's a banker that
Very
manages
much.
$1 million deals. I'm not sure what that means. I don't really know what banking is. So,
Well,
but Sydney was also a banker.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, she was a financial analyst or something like that.
That scares me.
Everyone has a different poker face, you know? Like Kendrick Lamar's on the Super Bowl special, you know, his poker face was, you know, a lot different than others.
Okay. You feel me? Shout out to Kenny. All right. So just a couple other people before we can get out the challenge. So obviously Will threw it, but I think Will is in a very interesting spot because Parvati and David are kind of like stuck where it's either you give him safety or you risk the chance of him getting into the bottom and then potentially taking a shot at you. And I think Will is exactly where he wants them to have him. And it's crazy because I think he wants to be in the bottom every single time. But Parvati thinks that she got the one up on this guy, being like, haha, you're safe now. It's like, ah, shit, you're safe now. So it's like, what do you do? Like, this guy's a master troll at this point. And it's like, even after this episode, what CK just did almost further puts him in even more power. So what do? You
keep sending them to the bottom. Let them go. Because listen, half the time it's going to come down to a 50-50 anyway, unless you sacrifice the money when you have the better odds. Because I feel like I would most definitely do that. That pot will be at $6 messing with me. Because if I'm going to go down there and risk myself, I'm not going to make y'all money on the way out. So I do understand why Will wants to be down there because you can take out people, but just keep sending them. Eventually, he's going to go home. If that, and they're safe. Like, Parvati took a risk, like y'all said earlier, Parvati took a risk to save David, and she didn't even care about her own safety, I felt. So she took the risk, got safety from that case, and she was good, but that could have went so sour. But I'm starting to think Parvati is actually in a better position than we realize. And even though Philip is there, I don't think Philip is like her only number 2, if that makes sense. I think she's twiddling her little finger somewhere.
She said Philip's not even in the family. She literally said he doesn't fit into the family. And I don't know. I think he's obviously starting to see her sneaky ways. And I definitely can see them going down into a, like a fiery ablaze. I don't think this is going to end well for Parvati.
Yeah.
I don't know how intentional this is, but like actually with Will, I don't know how with Will being so obvious that he always wants to be in the bottom, and then people are so threatened that he could take them out. Literally, Parvati was like, "I'm gonna make you safer this week." So it's kind of a win-win situation. Either he's in power and he gets to choose who goes home, or you're so fucking scared of him that like you're like, I'd rather him not have the power and him be safe. Which again, I don't know how intentional it is. I've never seen Dr. Will play. Maybe he really is that smart.
He's a troll.
He's just a troll. And then the other thing is that I do think if there is an undoing of Parvati, it's going to be Philip. And I think she needs to keep an eye out on him.
I think so too. I think she mishandled the Philip situation
Yeah.
when they were having that one-on-one conversation. I think that was a huge misplay for
was
her.
crazy.
And like, what? Like, what are you even talking about? Like, that's a ridiculous. Yeah, like, what are you saying? I think though, with the Will situation, Gandra, I agree with you. I think you send him to the bottom every time. It's like if Isaiah, I know you're a hater of the challenge, but like the philosophy is like you have to send your adversaries into the elimination, whatever it is, every time, because no one can win 100% of the time. Like it's not going to happen. Eventually that person will lose and he's going to go home. Like you can't allow him to just be safe every single week.
Question, taking in Big Brother with the AI arena, does that mean you you nominate Tucker every single time, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And he's
gonna Tucker lost. I mean,
yeah, okay.
They had to do it. He can't win out from the start to the end. I mean, maybe you could be like Jack.
What you do
I guess,
is you stay on the good side of the person going into the bottom so they don't take you out. There you go.
Agreed.
I'm thinking about the episode again, and I'm just so upset that CK even started calling them out, because it's like she could have just had one enemy with Dixon, who is already under threat as the smallest member of the family. And then to just go around and be like, actually, not only does the family not have my back, I don't have any of yours. It's just insane to me.
So it's insane. Yeah.
Agreed.
This cast is cracked. This is why this episode is waking me up, because I felt like my eyes were getting droopy a little bit watching this season, and this was like last episode woke me up, but this really woke me up. You feel me? So I'm excited.
This episode, we finally got entertainment that wasn't coming from Dr. Will. Like Dr. Will was entertaining this episode, but the other people were also entertaining. Where Dr. Will has been carrying for the past 3 episodes.
Okay, but they kind of pissed me off at the ending. I want to say I wasn't expecting that. I'm like, they're not gonna do a cliffhanger, and it was like Philip. Okay, the Bart Philip said.
Wait, save it.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. Obviously, I don't remember it quote unquote. It was good, but like I do feel like it could have. It's the end of the episode. I'm not really pressed on CK going home or Dixon. I don't want Lachelle to go home. I will say that.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping for Lachelle to get like a big break on the back end where she just end up in a safe position versus just keep going down there. But they doing her dirty out there. Like I would hate.
But is she doing anything? What is she doing to be safe?
What is anybody doing to be safe? This game is so
true.
random.
What is literally anyone doing?
I feel like Lachelle is just like excited to be here, and she just wants to get as much money on the board as like. I think Lachelle is looking at this like a team building exercise and not like a competitive game. It's like, come on, guys, we're a team. We need to get the money up. Like I don't think she really has fully adapted that. Like, yo, like you need to cut every single person out here at some point. One other person I did want to bring up, who, and then we can move on from the challenge after this. Was Seychelle, who obviously has a fear of heights, and jumped the first time. Well, jumped the first time. It looked really bad. Like I don't know what she like. I don't know. She pump faked and then fell the first time, and the second time she has an opportunity to possibly get one of the middle tier cases, and she just decides to auto go into the bottom. So, how did we feel about that? Because I actually think Seychelle has somewhat a strategic mind. Obviously,
Yeah, I
she
think
formulated
so.
everything last episode, but she really like let her fears just get to her, and she just completely gave up. Was this a misplay from Seychelles, or did it not matter at the end of the day?
I don't think it mattered.
Mm-mm. Prior to CK tripping out on him at like the little ceremony, I didn't think Seychelles was in a bad spot. But once she did that, I was kind of like, okay, I don't really know what her position is, especially with CK. So originally, I don't think it's a bad decision when you already can't get a ring and you're probably going to end up in the bottom anyway, versus jumping off there. You got, a scared of, like, you have a fear of heights. Like, if I'm scared of snakes, I'm not jumping in the snake pit when I'm already about to be in the bottom.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Well, I was going to say what I think she could have done, which would probably have been easier for her, is to go for one of the low value cases and target someone. But I also think that also, because the rings were closer for that, so that's like less of a jump. But I do feel like also why put your neck out there and like expose yourself for who you're coming for when she did everything behind the scenes last week and she's not like openly coming for the family yet. Like they don't know she's coming for them. So I think it was fine given the situation. I think at the end of the episode, maybe she's not going to be as safe as she thought she was, just given who knows if CK stays, what she's going to do.
So I have a conspiracy theory that the reason why there's a cliffhanger is because CK goes home. Because I was thinking, who would CK send home? Like, would it be Seychelles? I don't. Who's not safe?
Dixon, I feel like would be the person.
It's Dixon, Lachelle, and Seychelles.
But
Wait,
she actually
Dixon, Lachelle, and Seychelles, just 3 other people.
Parvati's not safe either.
Parvati
is safe.
She ain't sending Parvati.
Oh, she's safe?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say Dixon, but actually now that I think about it, she
I
just
don't think
ratted
she's
everybody
sending
out.
She's aligned with the family.
Oh
so
man,
it's either Seychelles or Philip. So then it's like, who does she feel?
Philip is also safe.
It's gotta be Philip. Oh,
wait,
yeah.
Philip's safe?
Philip is safe.
Wait, there's
It's
just
gotta
3
be
Yeah,
safe.
David saved Philip.
It's just 3 people.
Right? Yeah.
What?
What about Lachelle?
Lachelle is not
Dixon-
safe. Seychelles is not
Dixon,
safe, and
Lachelle,
Dixon
Seychelles.
Yeah.
and CK.
So that of that, actually Seychelles is most at risk, right?
Yeah,
Because
I think
Seychelles is the
so.
only person that she named called
And
out.
it should have been Dixon, truthfully, but
Yeah. And Pete, that's why I say Seychelles was like, "Oh, I believe you. You have like you'll make the right this." Like, I think she sees the writing on the wall.
Okay.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Okay, before we pass this challenge, I kind of want to ask y'all: do you feel like it would have been smarter for people to put people in the bottom early when they went, so it was less chances for them to be in the bottom when somebody else went, versus getting their friends safety? Because I think that's what caused a lot of discernment with CK and Letty, where kind of instead of saving somebody, they should have been trying to throw the family in the bottom. But that's why I think everybody is still playing too close to the middle, even though it's like there's 2 distinct sides, but they're all parallel right next to each other. It's kind of like they need to separate a little bit.
Nobody wants to show their cards, because I think that would have been the right decision, because then at least if you know who's going to be at the bottom, that still gives you a sense of control to an extent, because like at least if you have someone that you know is going to be in the bottom, hopefully it's someone that's not going to put you up. I mean, I think it's obviously you have to be careful with it, but yes, I think leaving the bottom completely up to chance and just people who might just completely hate you and your allies, probably not the best situation for you to be in. Like, safety is not the only important thing and the only way to get power.
And I was gonna say is difficult because it's like a random pick with unless you're CK cheating, obviously.
But you can bring your alliance person down to the bottom with you, to see if they'll save you within a banker. So it's like a lot of crazy stuff you could do, but I would feel mad if somebody did that to me. I would be so pissed.
Gandra, you're smarter than everyone on this cast.
I'm sorry.
No, I love it.
Okay, period. No, I do feel like the show of Deal or No Deal Island promotes variability, and that's the difference between these first 2 seasons, where it's less people safe, which makes it difficult to take people out. You can only get people out at certain times. That's why Will's about to have a good time probably through the game, because if he randomly gets safe or the right person is the choice, he's probably going to be good.
JOS actually said in the chat, if you do that, there's no guarantee you'll get safety. And I was going to agree with him, because for real, if you think about it, it's like The only person who is like kind of like exempt from like any of that is like Will, because he's already established himself as like unserious. You feel me? So it's like anybody who was going to go for that early is going to automatically not get safety because everyone's going to look at you like a weirdo. I don't know. It's a tough one to really gauge at this point. Were you about to say, Cheyenne?
I forgot. I was listening.
I'm sorry. I'm a yapper. All right. If you remember, just bring it back up. But let's transition out of this real quick. So CK is having a crash out moment here. Shout out to whoever's in your background. Oh, CK is having a crash out moment here. And like you kind of see her like spiraling. It's really interesting because at the beginning of the episode, she's like really cool with Letty. And then after that little thing that she did, like they hate each other, and she is just completely jumped ship, and she is ratting everything out about the plan last episode. And we all knew someone was going to squeal. It was just about like a matter of time. I'm very shocked that it took this long for someone to rat it out, because I thought it was going to come out like after
That only happened in the last
vote.
episode.
Yeah, but like it happened unless it's being shown out or. They wait until after the challenge. I expected someone to do it like the night of. Personally, like I'm shocked that Will, who literally said there was a plan formulated, like no one threw Will under the bus. You guys waited till CK said something. Is crazy. But even on top of that, we actually see David when we get to the actual ceremony, automatically assume it was Will and not anybody else. So like Seychelles kind of like hiding in plain sight and all that stuff, But how do you guys feel about CK like jumping ship here, and is Team Parvati and David now?
CK's a dumbass. The only person she should be mad at is herself, because she expected to be able to control every move that Letty made, which didn't make any sense. And then she blatantly cheated, put herself in a situation, which I don't understand how they even let her pick again. Like she should have automatically have not been safe. Like, why are you even allowed to pick again?
Yeah.
You should be in the lowest. You should get one of the lowest cases. It's so stupid that they allowed her to just literally just put her hand back in the thing. And then you're mad about it for whatever reason, and you're ratting out the only people who were even considering working with you to Parv, and then you're like, well, I'll see. I'm going to just expose him tonight. And all Parv had to do is just sit there, not even say a word, and then you're just exposing everything. Even if you stay, everybody's going to hate you. They all said, like, we're coming for you. I don't know what the point of any of this was.
I heard
She's a dumbass.
She's
a dumbass.
Oh yeah, I like it when Katie crashes out.
I wish that
she's bad, bro. Go ahead, Cheyenne.
With everything that she was doing, I do wish that Philip had been able to like be chill the whole time. But like she then pointed at him. She was poking at him. And I was like, what's the deal? Like, why would CK also antagonize Philip?
Parvati said he ain't got the heart for it, and she was right, because he could not keep it together.
See, but this is the thing too with Parv. She was also kind of pissing me off because she was also poking at Philip. Like,
Yeah,
why
she was
are you
egging
sitting
him
there,
on.
like egging on Philip after he just got exposed? Like, I get it, and maybe that's a good game move for you, but this guy was on your side outside of the family. This was like a little bit of a secret partnership that people weren't onto. So why aren't you nurturing that instead of like saying to his face that this guy would have bullied you, and then like obviously using, you know, the story that he shared sort of against him, and then you're poking at him when he's clearly upset instead of trying to like actually be his ally and be a friend to him when he's pissed.
I wonder again. I feel like Parvati did an amazing job at manipulating Philip. Like it was definitely like if I want to show off just like how much I can manipulate everyone on this island, this is exactly what I did. But the thing is, Philip, yes, he's heated, but he's self-aware to know the next day he was like, Parvati pushed me to do that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so like I don't like, that's the thing. I was like, I wonder if it's like an ego thing of like, I can do this, I can push him, I can get him to do whatever he wants, but it's not benefiting her game. It's going to be the downfall of her game, unfortunately.
That's a good point.
I don't know if I want to give these people that much credit, because it's like, yeah, they're aware of their surroundings, but at the same time,
maybe
the people, that's what I'm saying. At the same time, they all decided to collectively give Parvati and David safety, who they just blindsided the last episode, because they want to keep their integrity and their good faith up. And I'm just like, all right, like, you have somewhat good reads. How far is that going to actually take you? Like, because you're not acting on these reads. You're like, oh, I know what Parvati's doing. Oh my God, you did such a nice thing for me. I'm going to save.
Who's they though? Who's they that have? Good
I'm
reads?
talking.
Seychelles is the only one that has good reads. I don't think Philip has a good read. I think Letty has a good read.
Philip can read the room, and he like. I feel like he's good at like determining who's a threat and who's not. But like other than that, like he's bad. I think Letty also is just like competitively, she's good, but she doesn't make good decisions.
It's Mackenzie all over again.
Literally, like that's all it is, you know. So I'm seeing like attributes of a lot of these players having like sparklings of like good factors, and then everything else sucks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's not like a complete package here.
But we have to give these players grace. And I will say this in two parts. One, there is Parvati, David, and Will on this show. They're not going to be able to look like upshirt epsilon characters or players because they're going against legends and people that's been in these spaces for a while, right? This might be rich coming for me because I watch a lot of Survivor. I love Survivor, and I've watched every season. I officially hit every season. We love that. It took me addendum. It took me so long to get through like Guatemala because it's terrible, bro. It's horrible, bro. But point is, I've watched Parvati recently. That was the last one I had to rewatch. Was Cook Islands, and I've never seen her blatantly do what she did, like with Philip, like in any of her other games. Like I've never seen like the verbiage she used of that kid would have bullied you when you were younger. It gave like, I'm here for a strict purpose. I like everybody, but I'm coming here to win. And I do feel like Philip might be in over his head, but if anybody does take out Parvati, it's going to be Philip. Because I don't think Will's going to be able to.
Has anyone seen Parvati on Traitors?
Yes.
Yeah, she was bad.
Was she like? So. What was she? Oh, she didn't do well.
Well, no, okay,
not great, but it wasn't all her fault.
I don't think
partially her fault.
She was.
Go ahead, Cheyenne.
She was in a house with someone else from Big Brother that seemed to be a close person, and that person was a traitor, and it made her seem like a traitor, and unfortunately, you know.
Oh, so she got banished?
Yeah.
Watch season 2, Julia. That's next to your homework.
No, literally, Isaiah told me last Sunday to watch season 3. I stayed up until 4:30 a.m. watching all 6 episodes. I went to a Traitors watch party at a gay bar in DC last Thursday, and so like Isaiah's wish is my command. Like I'm probably gonna be watching season 2 right when we get off.
UK's better.
It's
watch
good.
UK, Julia.
Yes, watch UK. It really was really good. I would say Parvati's.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
UK season 2.
Season 3 too. Okay. Oh, they went crazy. But I do feel like Parvati on the Traitors was in a bad spot. She could only do so much. Like her reputation preceded her, and she also had somebody from Survivor with Sandra who, they kind of mended bridges or whatever, but they had to figure stuff out. So it wasn't the easiest role for her. So I look at this as a clean slate for her because. These people don't really know who she is. They just know she won. Like I think somebody said she won twice. I think it was MG who said she won twice, or CK. Somebody said that. So they don't really know what she's capable of. So I think this, as well as Will, is a good spot for both of them to be playing because these people are never going to be able to really clock them as bad unless they gang up on them. But it's gonna be hard for that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's also go ahead, Shine. Go ahead.
I just want to revisit that each person is a full player here. Like I'm not saying they're outwit, outstrength, outgame each one, but we have our comp beast, Letty, David, Philip has had a lot of good runs with the bankers thing. We have all around threats like Parvati, Dr. Will, and then we have our strategist, Dixon, Seychelles. What does Lachelle bring?
Poor Lachelle.
Listen,
like
not too
Lachelle.
much. Not too much. Not too
Yeah.
much.
She come in with the
Come
bars.
on.
She said something good last episode. She come in with like little sly stuff.
Yeah,
I like Lachelle.
me
When she
too.
cuts in next episode after this cliffhanger, we're gonna see what she's really giving. Okay.
I think what Lachelle is, I think she's just in a spot where neither side is gonna take her out. I think once CK did this,
Yeah.
now it's like Seychelle, Letty, and Philip on this side. Then it's like Dixon, David, and Parvati on that side. And I do feel like Lachelle's in the middle.
Lachelle is almost in the spot that Letty wants to be in,
Yes.
but Letty is doing too much to actually be in that spot. She's winning. She's a threat. She's obviously got exposed. Where like Lachelle's just kind of there, so she could be in that like floater position to stay, even if she's not safe week over week. Like, who's really going to take her out, especially as they keep shooting at each other? Like, that's actually a pretty decent spot for
It's
Lachelle
a balance
to
of
be in.
power. You be in the bottom all the time, then nobody want to target you.
Mhm.
And there's no jury, so like no one's
Yes.
gonna be like, I don't like how you floated throughout this game. Like if it works, it works.
Go back to season 1. That's exactly what Jordan did. Shout out to Jordan.
Okay, I knew it was her. Damn it, I haven't finished season 1. It's okay.
It's all good.
Oh, spoiler alert! All right.
I'm so sorry because I Julia, listen. I hate spoilers, so I listen. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry.
Listen, it's on us for podcasting about season 2 of a show without having to watch season 1. I mean, what are we doing? We're podcasting about season 2 of a show and we never saw the show before.
I'm so sorry.
I spoiled the boot for Ganja last week.
I feel so bad, but this is more important. That's
no, but now I need to finish season 1, so
it's worth it. No, it's worth it. Like even like
SME.
I like Aaron a lot, and I really like Boston Rob and Dondi.
Yeah, if it helps, I painted my toenails during the final episode, so it's not too much. It's not too much to watch.
Yeah, she doesn't give much. But she wants a lot of money. She's a millionaire.
Yes.
Let's get into the last portion of this because unfortunately it was cut short, so there's not much to talk here. But CK is crashing out. She's exposing everybody. And basically her entire side is so pissed off at her. Letty pops off at her. I do want to give one great compliment to CK is that when she picked her numbers this episode, she didn't have to associate every number with some dumb shit. And she was like, I'm picking this number.
Wait.
And I was like,
Dr. Will did that.
She literally did odd numbers and even numbers, right?
Well, Will's horrible. He just said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But why is it horrible? Why are they so mad? It's random cases. It doesn't matter what order you pick them in. Stop being so mad. Like, you guys are actual fools. You're fools for being so mad about it. You embarrass yourself. Sitting there getting so mad about it. I'm not over it from last week. Please. I know I went on a rant about it. But the cases are random. You guys look like assholes for being so mad about it.
It was so mad.
So dumb. They're so dumb. You're calling the dude bitch made for going in order, but you're the one crying on a bench with your hair in braids. You look like a fool. You look like a fool. David sucks.
They said,
David sucks. I'm sorry.
Pick 3?
Yeah. Yeah, I am actually going to pick 3. Guess what? It's still random.
Oh my god.
Because it's missing the heart.
I'm mad about it. It's got more heart than whatever that first guy is who's like, I love Aaron Rodgers, so I'm gonna pick number 12. Like, please give me a break. No one cares. No one cares.
But CK literally did 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and then
there you go. She had a she had a plan.
Do all evens afterwards?
Yeah.
She did 6 for MJ.
Oh, she's so. Okay. But her first round,
what does that mean?
All odd numbers. So
I'm sorry, that was
in order.
MG liked to yell 6 from the sideline.
Yeah, why? I don't even know why 6 is MG's number. Random.
Wait, is that real? She just likes to yell 6 from the.
It was like get 6 for MG. I'm like, why? What's going on here? I missed that.
Me too. I didn't know it was just because she kept saying 6 on the side. It's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like Rock went home after that one.
I don't think there's a single person. There's not a single person outside of maybe Lachelle this episode that just didn't have like a weird ass moment in this episode. Like, I love it.
How did you guys feel about David and Parvati being so fake with CK? Like, they were the only ones cheering for her. Like, I guess that's what they're supposed to do.
Letty was cheering.
Yeah.
Which I was shocked because
Wait, Letty
Letty
was
was
she-
like,
oh, she's such
I'm
a good
coming for you.
sport.
And then she was like, yeah,
She's
at
such
the
a
I'm
good
like, you just
sport.
said you're coming for her neck, and now you're cheering,
Yeah.
like clapping
Har-
for a good deal. I'm
Harvey and
confused.
David are so smart because Dixon wasn't doing. Dixon's on. He should have been. He should have been the one doing this.
Yeah, he should. Yeah.
But they're so smart because they realize she just threw her whole side on her bus. She need people. We
Yeah.
need people. Let's scoop her up, and we would be fine. But I'm sorry, we gotta go back. That first guy name was Luke, right?
Yeah.
You gotta catch it straight. I don't know what it is about reality TV casting people named Luke, but it's not working.
Yeah, we can never have another Luke on reality TV ever again. Luke and
Jesus.
Kyle, never again.
Done.
Those two
They're-
gotta go forever.
Gotta go. Okay.
Forever.
Like I was yelling at the TV when he went
Yeah.
home. I was so happy. It could have been a better first boot, but maybe he was perfect for the show because I rooted against him so hard. So.
He was really fun to root against. Really fun to
Very
root
fun.
against.
Aaron
And that's the only
Rodgers.
after show I watched, and Boston Mob made fun of him to his face the whole time too. Actually, so that was also really funny.
I loved it.
Oh my god, bro. Yeah, CK is about. It's crazy because I was under the assumption I'm like the banker's going to at least give her $1 million as one of the options when she was so split so many times, and she's literally 50-50 at this point. So I think she made the right decision to do no deal or whatever. But the banker is offering her like $956,000. I'm like, I would have said no too, because I'm gonna at least $1 million just to be greedy. Like, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. But
It does matter because you can put a penny in the thing. If you have granted it was like 500 or like 100 whatever, but you can put a very low amount inside that last case. I'm pro. I know.
But with this situation,
never go to the end unless you have like a
Never
really big
go to
case.
the end.
Wait,
If
but
you
if it's
have-
3-1?
If it's 3-1, then go to.
but then you could be in a rock
to the
situation
end,
where
yeah.
you have good odds, and then
Oh.
so,
But then
it's
but
really
then the
luck.
banker messes up your odds, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't understand this game. I
I think
really
we-
don't.
it's
I
luck.
really don't get it.
Christian
It's luck.
Community made a video on our hap on like how to play this game optimally, but I have not watched it because
I'm gonna have to watch that.
No, friends, I've watched it for all of us.
Oh,
And I'll have you
explain.
know,
Please
he
explain.
says, doesn't really think. He doesn't really have an answer.
Oh,
if that helps.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Spent an hour
Yes.
to say there's no answer.
Content is
Yes.
content, Julia.
Yes, he
Yeah.
did. He said, so is it better to choose the one that you have? Probably.
No, side note, I remember. I remember when he went on RHAP and the whole that box thing on Survivor. He was like, "Yeah, you're supposed to always switch the whatever the Pythagorean. That's not the Pythagorean theorem. I'm tripping. Whatever the thing is when you get 3 boxes. Yeah, the Monty Python.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that thing. So basically, he was like, "Yeah, you're supposed to always switch," and then neither of the Survivor people like switched.
I'm right back.
They both were safe, and I was kind of like, "Okay, that's kind of crazy you did that." But yeah, I don't think there's a rhyme or reason to win this game. I think the way to win this game is to have a great social game, sit in the middle, which is boring. But I like that everybody in this season is taking. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people here are being unhinged. Like what Dixon did was unhinged. Sydney was very unhinged. Will is unhinged. CK is unhinged. Philip might become unhinged. And David showed a little bit of his uneasiness. I really would have to go watch his season to see how he dealt with adversity there, because it seems like Will is like his ultimate boss.
Yep. Which is kind of crazy because I don't know. Once you know who Will is, you know who Will is. So the fact that, and I said it last week, I just said it again 5 minutes ago, but like the fact that they're letting Will continue to get under their skin so publicly is wild to me, because that is literally what he wants, and you're giving him what he wants. You were handing him the power in the situation by getting so rattled.
Especially Parv. She should know.
She should absolutely know. She should absolutely know.
I love you, Parv. Sorry.
Team Sandra.
I don't know. I would definitely look at her sideways the more I see her like smile and complain at the same time. It's just like so
That's so
weird.
accurate.
Yeah.
it's like I just wish you would genuinely be like, I don't like Dr. Will. He's so annoying. He's so disrespectful.
Mhm.
But she's just like, wow, I can't believe this guy.
I mean, I have a theory that, you know, she's so seasoned that she might just slightly dislike Will, and she's just like over dramatizing it because we're on TV. Maybe I just have to hope that's the case, because they're very unreasonable, like vitriol towards him, and I'm just kind of really trying to figure out why.
Well, I feel like you should ham it up for the confessionals, but like when she like got really angry, like at the table, that just seemed a little bit man, he actually did get underneath her skin.
How long was he talking about that story?
I don't know, 15 minutes.
Had to be
you think about it, not only Parvati already has David, and then Dr. Will comes in, blows up her spot. Another guy, you know, you're probably already annoyed that there's big men around. And I don't know, fuck Dr. Will, you know?
I mean, he did blow up her spot, but it's kind of fair.
And he doesn't want to make
totally fair.
Because she decided to keep David. Why are you exposed, but David's not?
I think he's going to do it. I think he knows that David was actually on Australian Survivor, and I think he's going to expose him at the right time. And I think maybe he was giving David like a little bit of an olive branch to say like, so you're on TV before? And David's like, no. And I think Will is going to use that at some point.
Yeah, very specific.
Do you think
very specific?
Like if David said yes, I was, do you think Will would have cared? I feel like Will would have spilled that information no matter what.
Immediately. I think he would.
Immediately.
I think he just wants the confirmation from him, and then if he catch David kind of outright, he's like, "Oh, I just kind of just exposed myself." But I don't know what Will's gonna do. He's so unpredictable. It's like, what are you going to do?
I like it.
Same.
I do feel like Will. Oh, I feel like Dr. Will would pull like a moment where it's like, I thought there was one fake bitch in this house, but there's two, and it's Dixon and his daddy.
He's amazing.
They can't handle the fact that Dixon is a grown man and is like letting this other man say, "I'm your daddy."
How old is Dixon?
Too old for this. Whatever this weird family dynamic is.
At least 24.
At least 20 something.
At least 24. That's very specific.
In fact, I got you. I'm on the cast page right now. He is Gen Z. They don't even have his age.
Oh, he's literally
right. He's 24.
Period.
Yeah.
So he just gave me 24. Like his attitude, because he don't give me super immature, but he gives me I'm still gonna do what I want.
Wait, is Letty based in DC? Sorry,
maybe, but
Letty's young.
How young is Letty?
Letty's
I thought Julia had it.
1,000 followers.
Okay,
that's not what I wanted.
But point about Dixon, I do feel like Dixon is I think he's actually good for TV. I'm not gonna hold him up. I think
he's great for TV.
I think he did a really good job buddying up or being cool with Parvati and David, because now he has a for sure storyline with them and he's attached to names. So if he really did want to do more stuff, I don't know if he's going to get on more stuff. You know, shout out to Dixon. Hopefully he makes his dream come true.
I was wrong. Letty is 27.
Oh wow.
Letty is her last name.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
Alexis Letty.
That's
I
cute.
think she said that maybe in the first.
MG was 21.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's big.
Yeah, she's young.
She's so young. Wait, how does
Storm?
25.
Storm. Okay. He looks like it. All right. My dog is doing the most. Let me finish this up. Okay, so sorry, my roommate's going. Okay, so lastly, before she is making this crazy selection, which is like one is super low, one is super high, it's going to basically make or break the winning pot. You got her taking shots at Philip, basically, because I think it was basically Joe. He was being a little messy. He called out Philip for like making a face or whatever. Oh no, there's nothing I gotta say or whatever. And then CK was like, yeah, I think he's just mad that I called them out for trying to be sneaky. And then Philip just, I have never seen him so angry on this show. Just crashes out saying, if you go low, you might think I'm going to go higher, but I'm actually go lower. So low that Harriet Tubman, I was like, oh my God. I was just like, what the hell? And then we get a cliffhanger.
Black
at the
history.
Okay. Shout out to Philip.
Like, what he said that, I was like, oh my God.
I was not expecting that bar, like at all. Like, you know, expecting him to go high. I'm like, what is he gonna say after this? And the Underground Railroad is crazy. I said, oh my God.
He said lower than the Underground Railroad. I was like, yo.
He said, if you don't know, now you know.
He said, fuck around and find out. I got you, bestie. I know she gonna leave him alone after that. I just she don't want no smoke. I think everybody gonna not mess with Philip like that.
I think so too.
It's like he turned a switch from on or off. It wasn't like a dial. It was like it's off for a while, and then Parvati kept poking at him like, should I turn this on? And then when CK kind of threw in there, it was like, all right, we fully on now. Like we about to go.
It was Parvati, Joe, CK.
Yeah. Nobody was letting Philip live and like sit and relax. Like everybody had to come for this poor man.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Philip said that he got a lot of tea to spill once the Banker's Temple ceremony is over.
Okay.
So I wonder what he's going to say there and what he's going to say when he get back to the house. You know, like I don't know what he's finna do. I don't know if any kind of like good graces he had is gone now that he just crashed out in front of the whole house. But we're gonna find out soon, man. I'm excited.
I don't think anybody else. I mean, I think everybody's already so mad at CK for just being dumb and exposing everyone. Like, why would anybody be mad at what Philip said?
Yeah. And at this point, everyone has had an outburst about something.
Right.
You know?
Except for Lachelle.
Like Lachelle was she was telling MG, she was like, hey, stay away from that young man.
That's true. That is true.
I'm so sad.
All right. Go ahead now, Joe.
I was about to say it's just sad the lovers went out back to back. Like
then they went to go be together.
Okay.
All right, guys, do we have anything else we want to chat about with this episode? There's obviously a whole lot more that we probably didn't even get to super get deep into, but this cast has finally woken up. Unfortunately, I'm still sad that Sydney's gone, but you know, everyone else took Sydney's aura this episode, and I'm here for it. So, any last things that we want to say about episode 6?
I'm just glad. I mean, I wish we had less challenge and less Banker's Temple and more like at the camp, whatever their glamping situation is, because that is where it's actually interesting.
Yeah.
I don't care about opening cases. I don't care about a challenge. Like, give me the social aspect and the strategic aspect. That's way more fun. They're spending way too much time on the other stuff, which I get it. That's random. The game, but like, it's random.
It wasn't random the first season. It was kind of actually like, if you do this, like everything wasn't so random. That's basically what it was. It was like they would tell you when they were high value versus low value. Sometimes random, not really. This is given very randomized, like which I'm okay with, but it's also just like
interesting.
Like it was more like a lot of people were safe last season too. Like it was a lot of not isolated groups of people that they had to choose from. So you got to basically choose from pick of the litter and take out whoever you wanted, basically. But this right here, I think I do like when it's random sometimes, but when you're spending 30 minutes on the challenges alone and them choosing cases and it's all random, it's like, okay, please. Like, we need
it's like, what are you watching? Like, what are we watching?
Because what if everybody lose to the banker? Then every episode means nothing.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like the literal entire episode means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be funnier that way if they got nothing after all the nonsense they went through.
I'm down with that.
Personally.
I wish they had $1 in the case.
I have one final question.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, Cheyenne.
Was it unmanly for Joe to tell Kamari there was a bug on the case and not get rid of the bug on the case? You know, like, where's the gentleman at?
I have the opposite take. I have the take that actually, I think if it were, what's the guy? Ben? I don't think he would have told Ben. I think he only told Kamari. And I think it was maybe a little bit misogynistic. Slightly.
He was not happy to see it.
Slightly. Only slightly. I'm not, shout out, I like Joe. I don't think he's misogynist, but I think the opposite of you. I don't.
Highlight of the episode. Katie thinks Joe is a misogynist.
I don't at all. I actually really like him. I think he's a good host. I don't. I mean, maybe he is. I don't know.
I do feel like she wasn't going to react to it as aggressively as she did if he didn't say nothing.
Right, like, why you didn't say anything?
Okay.
You wouldn't have said it to the man. You don't have to say it to her.
I respected it. I was like, thank you for the heads up, because if I had gone to touch the suitcase and saw a random bug, I'm tripping on live television. Well, not live,
No, he
but
could have just gone or someone on production could have just gone and
yeah.
Wait, where is
Shooed
this
away.
filmed?
they say it's a secret location, right?
I don't
It's
know.
probably Fiji or some shit.
Everything's in Fiji.
Maybe like Costa Rica or something.
It does feel very tropical, like
Yeah.
Costa Rica, Cancun, something like that.
Panama
Something like
Islands,
Panama. Oh, okay.
according to Google.
Panama.
Oh, it's
Allegedly.
an undisclosed island, the Panama Island.
Shout out to Sari. Sorry.
Yeah, whatever. Okay.
Resident
That's all we
Suri
got
hater,
tonight, guys.
Isaiah.
Okay.
I'm not a Sari. Stop.
You're a secret. You're a secret Suri hater. You're afraid to say that
listen,
publicly, but I know.
I'm not a Sari hater. This is some crazy.
He just know how much I love Sari, so he got to hate on it.
I love Sari.
and kinda-
No, he's a little bit of a Suri hater.
I'm not a why y'all lying on me right now? That's crazy. I love Sari. Don't listen to that nonsense. I just don't
Yeah,
like
you were a
the
major
fans
fan
being-
during the Traders, right?
Yeah,
Just
that's
a
what I'm saying.
little-
I just don't. I don't like the inconsistency with the fandom with Sari, but that's a different podcast for a different day. I was looking for my picture with her, but I'm not scrolling through all that. Anyway,
Bored.
that's our show for tonight, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in watching more of our recaps for this or anything else, please follow us on all of our social media pages, Silent Podcast, Silent_Podcast, and on Blue Sky, it's Silent Podcast .blue, whatever. If you are listening on an audio platform, please like, comment, subscribe, and rate 5 stars. 5 stars only. If you don't like what you're hearing, don't rate it at all. We don't need your stinking 4 stars. Ganja, thank you so much for coming. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Ganjo the Dank, basically everywhere. And then I had that too because one of my accounts got destroyed. So there we go. Yay.
Okay. Julia, what are you doing?
So Mark and I are definitely going to be doing an Oscars prediction podcast. The Oscars are March 2nd. I think we're looking at March 1st. I think Australian Survivor contestant Eden Porter is going to be joining us. Maybe we can ask him about David.
Yes.
And if
Ask him if David's bitch made.
Oh my god.
So if anyone else wants to join us, let us know. I need to watch 6 Best Picture nominees in the next 2.5 weeks, but I think
You got it.
this.
You got it.
David's never coming on this podcast now. Katie.
He wasn't coming on before either. Don't stress it.
Hey, we was just talking about you, Diego.
We
didn't
were,
get you on
Diego.
the
What's
episode.
up?
Hey, Diego.
Just talking about you. Katie, thank you for coming. Where can people find you?
You can find me at realslimkatie.bluesky.social. Only Blue Sky. I'm not going to go on a rant again, but you guys know how I feel about that other website. And you can find me on Fridays talking about the Traders on Signed the Traders with Isaiah. Javier has been back. We have some silent podcasters rotating in and out, so definitely check us out there. And, we had a really exciting episode last week, so check that out. And I'm excited to see what happens this week.
All right, Cheyenne, how about you?
Yes. So, siblings. I'm Cheyenne New everywhere. New with a K because I'm a know-it-all, not Cheyenne News because I'm not in Wyoming. Over and out.
There you go. I'm so sorry.
Wait, who's your dog?
Nami is annoying, but
No, she's so cute and perfect.
We have done plenty of podcasts together, so you can go find her on most notably the Big Brother 26 cast reveal. We were doing the whole thing. Stop. This is why I need an NA set. But you can find me at everything at 8 Ball Bangers. And yeah, Traders, Dondi next week. Very fun. I'm very excited to come back. But until next time, have a good one.